Machine Gun Kelly.
Fuck
No,
him.
fair.
Who cares?
Yeah, fair enough. No, I guess like we're seeing a lot of this stuff again, just coming out with like the mods and like different community members, chatters.
I fuck with women, not bitches. I
sometimes
know,
even
dude.
other
I know.
content creators. Yeah, it's really interesting to kind of see like the theme.
Hey, I gave fucking Carantos like $150, bro. It's all good.
Yeah, I know at some point you were pretty prominent in this
I
community.
indirectly might have funded a
he's
fucking
a dirty person,
hijacking ring. Who? I don't know.
Like Resto said, he's not the same person on stream as he is like in real life. Like the person he's trying to portray to all these old women
What's up, Brazilian?
who want to boost his ego and give him money, he's not that person. Not at all. He does very sneaky and underhanded things. Well, you'll see. You'll see. I don't need to talk on it. You'll see.
Okay. Is there anything else that you wanted to add while you're here?
No hook.
Nah, not really. Like, there's personal things that I could say that are really gonna hurt him and make him look like the person he actually is, but it's really not necessary because I know he's sitting there watching this right now.
I'm hooked.
Postponing his verbal combat stream. He's postponed it a couple times now.
Yeah.
Making bullshit excuses about family that he doesn't support. Like,
To be frank,
shut it.
bitch is a bitch,
All
whether
right,
you
well,
poor or rich. Hey.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Anytime.
thanks for coming on. Again,
Anytime,
like, there's
Resto.
definitely some interesting
Anytime,
stuff that
baby.
you kind of talked
I'm
about,
down.
especially with like the mod dynamics and stuff.
I fucking love Pokemon cards, bro, and I'm a grown ass man. I'm a grown ass man that throws hands and spends his time with fucking scumbags, dog. Grown men can play with Pokemon
I know
cards.
that the next person that we're about to come, that I'm about to bring on,
Fucking love that shit. It's all my content, bro.
And I know that he has some things that he seems like he's genuinely concerned about regarding his community.
yeah.
So we're gonna we'll switch into that.
I wanted to realize this is gonna be good.
Hey.
Okay.
Okay, well,
See you later.
thanks for
Bye.
coming on, Mike. I appreciate you. Thank you.
See ya.
Okay, wow. So if you guys have just joined the stream, I know Coder just got here. Hello, Coder. Yeah, we have gone through, you know, Resto's this of easy line by line, trying to get some insight into that side of things.
No hook.
Getting some of the questions that I have regarding this community
I'm done.
answered. And I think where we're going to end off for the day is we are going to talk to Avoided Hornet about some of the experiences and some of the concerning things that he saw during his time as top mod in the community. Again, there are a lot of different things kind of that have occurred, so I know that it's going to be
Hell yeah, dude.
like when it comes to, you know, receipts.
I mean, for me, it's like
things
gambling,
that,
but you know, it's healthy gambling.
it's going to be difficult for anyone
The stakes aren't that
potentially a
high.
lot with something like this. When something like this has a lot of history. However, I mean, it's important that we hear people out regardless, and you know, I'm under the impression that a lot of this isn't even surprising to a lot of you guys. To be frank, I think that if you spent any time in the community, I'm sure maybe you're already aware of this. Maybe you've known about this for, you know, weeks and months. But, we're gonna pull on Avoided Hornet, and we're gonna get into some other details. So, thank you. Hey Hornet, how are you?
Hello. What is up?
Not too much. Just chilling and chatting, talking about you know, the easy stuff, and I was just telling everyone how
Gamble with
you know,
packages
you
of
were
cardboard.
in
Hell yeah,
top
baby.
odds when you were in
Shiny
this
sometimes.
community, and now you're not anymore. So one thing that I wanted to ask you quickly, and this is actually just something that was mentioned in Resto's song. So the line specifically was, that crab pinch was a bitch hut, that hornet sting through a wrench. Like, what is your, do you have any like thoughts or like any commentary on that line specifically? If you wanted to provide more context.
I think I've had a pretty unique job over at Speakeasy's channel. I was given pretty much all the terms to the channel itself and the Discord, which a lot of YouTube creators don't do that, like to take that extra step of trust to hand these like keys out essentially. So essentially, my job behind the scenes was mostly like gathering content, gathering clips for the streams, making sure if something was like there was an emergency on stream, I was available to shut down the stream. There was a few times where
I got Twilight Masquerade coming when it releases. Probably gonna take a week or two for it to get to me because I ordered off a shitty site. But I got a Twilight Masquerade booster box coming. So you want to do that one, dude? Let me know, dude. Get some fresh good. Get fresh blood, dude. People are sick of looking at Kenkel's fucking ponytail and his sausage fingers, bro. We need some fresh meat.
Went over the line a bit with like, getting intoxicated or other things, and I would have to come up and try to talk them down or just end the stream outright.
Did you have controls on your end to end the stream?
Yes, I had channel perms.
Can you give me just one sec? I just want to shout out Smokey for the $50 super chat. He says, to quote a lyricist of the day regarding Speakeasy and Fame, motherfucking deadbeat should never say more. I'm not sure what that reference is, but Smokey, thank you so much for the $50 super chat. Appreciate you. And I'm sorry so much for interrupting you.
Oh, no, you're good. Yeah, so like what Resto's referring to there is just like, yeah, I played a big role in the background. I like was pretty much doing a little bit of everything. I don't think there would be a single mod that would say that I wasn't pretty much carrying the channel on my back. So when I decided like I'm gonna take a step back, there was a severe dip in the content and how things operated over there. So I think that's what that line's referring to mostly.
Are you comfortable talking about what your involvement was with Easy's channel? Like what sort of
oh yes,
did you have in the sort of content?
100%. So pretty much he would throw out an idea of like, hey, I want to talk about this. So I would go out and search for like, let's say he wants to talk about Nicolino or something. I would go out and see what Nicolino was talking about that day. Give him the highlights, be like, here, this is what they talked about today. You can go on stream, and then when he's on stream, I have to be available to give him like small moments, be like, jump to this timestamp, jump to this timestamp. I think if you've watched Easy's channel enough, you have heard him say, hey, Hornet, look for this for me, or something of that sort. So it was pretty much almost everything. And then when he would do like debate panels, he would run questions by me. If he thought a topic was too over the line, because I like reading TOS, he would question me like, hey, do you think this is appropriate for stream? And I would give my advice there.
Actually true.
So it's pretty much caretaking for the whole channel.
Kill of the night, dude.
So when
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Careful, you conveyed at some point that your role, you diminished your role for whatever reason at some point. Some things started, this channel started to kind of falter a little because you needed to take a step out.
Yes. So I think at the beginning of the year I had some personal stuff come up. Don't really want to get too much into that.
No,
but
he likes reading TOS. Is Hornet just Seba?
But I wasn't as available as I've been in the past. So at that time, it felt like, yeah, the mods were kind of scrambling a bit, but it's, again, I had stuff going on. I tried my best to, like, still hand out content, be as available as possible, but it was diminished from the amount of time that I would put in, like, normally, when I can sit at a desk and actually do this, instead of just being on my phone and sending him, like, hey, this is this going on, this is this going on, or I'm banning a person, or just giving him general advice. So it was just during those 2 months is when I saw a like diminishing, but he started to feel it at that time because he was.
Excuse me.
He had the perception that I was stepping away from the channel, even though I had again personal stuff going on, and it kind of just was like this always trying to convey, hey, I have real world stuff to deal with. I don't necessarily have the time. I'm not getting paid by you. So obviously, like, this isn't like a real job. The only reason I like do this for you is because I generally saw him as a friend. Like, I think anyone that has seen me like go up on those panels where he's again intoxicated or something has seen me speak to him like he's a really close friend, because he was a friend at some point.
Okay, so there's
Best of.
been points where I think this is what you're saying, that you've had to turn his stream off for him. Is
Yes.
that... Okay, why would you need to do
What the
that?
heck, Reaper? It's not over yet.
Okay, so for those instances, there was a few times where he had an emergency to
Yeah, it
run
was.
to, so those are understandable to me. But there have been like times where he gets overly drunk on stream, and I have to show up and pretty much put an end to the stream to make sure that he knows, like, hey, you're going over the line here, just to make sure that, again, nothing in TOS is broken, or...
All right, let me give you guys some reactions here. Give you guys some reactions here. So what's up, Dave? Shout out Dave, EMP Dave. Looking forward to the collab soon, buddy. Shout out Brazilian. What's up, buddy? Hope you're doing well. Resto's still chilling. Of course he is. Always big chilling. Yeah, but Resto, I got Twilight Masquerade coming, dog. So if you want to do booster box battle, let me know, baby. Twilight Masquerade. I don't even know when it's gonna get shipped. Honestly, I just got 4 tins, Typhlosion tins from 2022. They have 2 Astral Radiance, 1 Brilliant Star, and 2 Evolving Skies. So I'm gonna do an opening of those. I got a couple of big hitters, the Tyranitar big hitters. I'm gonna be doing opening those. But I have so much fucking backlog of Pokemon content because I didn't want to release Pokemon content and Yu-Gi-Oh content at the same time. So I'm going to be editing a bunch of Pokemon content. I've just been trying to stream more because I haven't been streaming a lot, but dude, it's all coming, dude. I got a lot coming. I got a lot. But if you want to do a booster box battle of Twilight Masquerade, baby, holla at your boy.
He's portrayed in a poor image, because honestly, yes, I cared very much about how he portrayed himself in public. Because again, I put a lot
But this shit with Hornet is wild. I didn't know Hornet had this kind of pull, dude.
of work into this channel. It wasn't something that I could just like let go immediately.
So was there, like, so he seemingly didn't have like the self-preservation mindset, and you acted in that role at times when necessary.
Yes.
Did that ever
Yes,
create any tension between you guys? Like anything that, you know, was really like, because I have to imagine sometimes, like, you know, I used to be a bartender. Every now and then you have to cut.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I got too much going on right now. But yeah, after next week it'll lighten up a little bit. I'll be able to get some editing done. I'd like to get some editing done tomorrow, but I gotta go to a party. Oh, I gotta go to a party tomorrow. Socializing, right? But I'm gonna go to a party tomorrow. I won't be there for very long. I gotta go buy a suit, and then well, shit. I don't know. I gotta get prepared for bigger things, brighter futures.
People off, and people obviously don't like being cut off at times, right? Like that creates tension in itself. So for being the person that would need to step in and like
Kankel's birthday party.
you know, pull the plug on the stream like that, I could
Yeah, I got an interview on Monday I have to prepare for.
see that possibly being an issue. But if what do you,
Yeah, it wasn't. So when he was intoxicated, he was actually pretty responsive to me. Like, he would call. It's not like I just like would be like, "Hey, I'm just gonna shut down the stream." I would like he knew like we had a running rule. Like if he gets out of line, like I would shut down the stream. Like that was my role as. So he never really gave me any like.
Wait. So is okay. Hold on. Was Hornet Speakeasy's babysitter? Is that the takeaway here? He was his babysitter? That's what it sounds like.
Trouble with that. The only few times that he gave me trouble with stuff like that is when he when it was more in the background of stuff, like let's say like someone was planning something, like someone would plan like a debate panel for him. If they tried to communicate to me before communicating with Easy would lose his shit because he wanted to be in the know at all times, even though this was going to be communicated to him afterwards. He wanted to be the first person to know at all times. So there was a layer of not trusting me.
and that again just kind of follows the insecure type theme
Yeah.
that I think we've seen in a lot of different aspects of this.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, you know, it's one of those things, dude, where like if you do a good job, the only impression that matters when you're in a position like that, like when I worked with Karantos on the King of Cock, the qualifying show to get on Kick or Keep in the beginning, like everybody who was a part of that, including Speakeasy, mind you, everybody had an excellent impression of me. They fully trusted me. It was communicated constantly. And then when Kick or Keep was kind of kicking off, my name was getting thrown around a lot to help produce the show. But you know, that's a whole nother situation. But yeah, dude, you know, if the people who are part of what you're doing have good impressions on the producers, quote unquote, then you trust them, because you have to. If you're talent, focus on being talent. You focus on being talent. If you're talent, focus on being talent. Focus on your content. If you trust people, you to be a part of it, and you're not going to do it all yourself, you got to trust them to do what you want them to do. And if they fuck up, you have a conversation with them. You give them another chance. If they fuck up again, you get rid of them. That's it. No, not Destiny. Not Destiny. No. I've never interacted with Destiny. I never interacted with Kelly. It was one of the other producers on the other end of there that I think worked with Kelly in the beginning when they were putting this all together. He used to drop my name a lot, but the other producers, not like Cake, not included, were kind of like, you know, who, what, why, nah, and like, you know, I was kind of like not included in it, but it wasn't a big deal.
You know, particular drama, I guess you could call it.
That show fell apart, and they have nothing to show for it at the end of it, so they didn't capitalize on it correctly, and that's their fucking fault.
Okay, and so, but for the most part, like you and Easy, you know, you got along, and it seemed like you guys had something productive going for a while at least, right?
Yes. Generally we didn't really have problems. The only problem that really occurred was, again, like Crab said, there was that issue with rest.
No, I wasn't Kinkle. Kinkle was a fucking writer. He didn't even produce any of that shit.
So, where, again, that mod meeting was a terrible mod meeting because first Crab.
Well, I mean, you know, getting guests and shit, like, you know, in that sense, but like the structure of the show and putting things together like that, I pushed around for a long time, and I got from the get-go of the current producer on that show from Karantos' camp, Pete. I told him, you got to have a clear leadership structure. There needs to be one person who communicates everything and is like the focal point of content. Otherwise, these fucking guys are gonna have 15 people talking to them. But you know, he didn't like that. He thought it stunts the creative process, and well, look what happened. Kelly tore him to shreds, and that was the first point she made, was that there's no fucking structure. There's no fucking structure.
He started going at us, and then I left. And then from what I hear, he started blowing up at everyone else. So it's...
I was right, he was wrong.
It's that controlling nature that he has that just kind of like takes people off in the wrong way.
Like, it's... I mean, I'm hearing it, I'm seeing it as like kind of manipulative, right? That's how it resonates with me personally. I mean, people... Like, it's one thing for you to be in a relationship with somebody and telling that person who they shouldn't speak to. I mean, I would even say that that's kind of cringe. But when we're talking about, you know, presumably grown adults on the internet who are, you know, working with you on somewhat of a volunteer basis, or at least because they see some value in what you're doing, and then to try and exert that kind of manipulation or control, I just think is really confusing personally. Okay, and so with a lot of different things, so with a lot of different stuff going on,
you got squashed.
Like, I feel like Easy has so many different beefs, like so many people, like big content creators.
Oh yeah, I could say it. I've said it before. I said it on Kanko's stream. You got fucking
like,
bodied.
Hit piece for whatever, breaking down some drama and shit. Like, what is that like? What is it like to be involved with that? Like, do you find that you are able to?
That shit's old news now, bro.
Yourself from the beef,
that's the last news cycle.
Like, or do you create every enemy that he has? You know what I'm kind of saying?
Yeah, it's pretty much I would be assigned as Easy's #1 dick sucker, right? Like wherever I would go, that's what the perception of me was. I would go on like let's say if I like jumped on like a Jimbo panel or a Nicolina panel, like that's all they would see. They wouldn't see that I have like a point that I want to raise on my own, or like again just try to point out some things, but it was always perceptually his beefs or
2008,
my
yeah.
beefs. And it got to the point that it was pretty annoying because it's one thing when everyone assumes that your beef is their beef, right? But when the person himself is telling you, you have to go fight for me right now, you have to go do this, it gets frustrating as hell because you're just like, I literally have to do almost everything, and now you're asking for another layer of work from me.
Yeah, that's probably an unreasonable emotional investment to ask somebody to like take on all of your views, all of your the shit that like is kind of going on in the background, especially when a lot of that is
Damn.
kind of tied to your personality, and you don't necessarily feel like it would be like your fault that the content that comes up would like lead to a falling out with someone, or like you providing somebody with a timestamp. Like maybe those things play small roles, but I don't necessarily feel like he needs to shift some of that burden on his like there just seems like void of accountability to expect other people to just like I said, take a lot of your beefs, take them wholesale, no ifs, ands, or buts, and to just act within that sort of framework. When Minecraft was talking about like the mod team being co-ed, is that like the extent to which shit kind of got weird like that, or like is there anything else?
No, there was several extents. So the mod team was super weird to deal with because again, like
Hey, what's up, Mike?
at the beginning there was no like head mod, right?
Dog,
Like,
I would
we
tell
were
any
all just,
streamer to
like,
suck my dick
regular
from the back if
mods
they
just
asked me to fight for him.
chilling. So I tried to take the reins at one point, and that's kind of how I ended up at the head mod position because again, I tried to keep his chat as productive as possible, trying to stop it from becoming a hug box or a echo chamber, whatever you want to call it.
Do those mean the same thing?
But-
I'm from obviously I know what an echo chamber is. What is a hub box?
Hug box is an echo chamber essentially,
Okay.
where it's everyone's like has the same opinion, blah blah. So my job was trying to make sure that never like I kind of saw myself as the line there, where I try to like keep the mods in check to make sure they don't like overstep their bounds, just in case like someone's, because at the beginning it was very much someone would say something mean about Easy in the chat, but not over the line, and they would like ban them and like lose their shit, right? And I had to always step in and be like, hey, don't do that. They're obviously allowed to do like have their opinion about him.
Fuck,
Like
fucking
we shouldn't be
bitch.
creating an environment like this. So, and then when we moved into a more like solidified like position where it's just like, okay, these are the mods. This is who's in charge. It was always a few moderators. Like I've never spoken to one of the moderators. Like I've talked to most of the mods on that team, but I've never actually had a conversation with one particular. So it was always trying to like keep us split up with information. Like I would find out one mod knows something, and then I would have to kind of like piece together what the hell was going on, even when like the relationship wasn't as bad as it is now.
Okay. So you're like constantly piecing things together. It seems like
Yeah.
you're all being told like different things almost.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question? You don't have to answer. What because you guys had so much, like because you were his top mod, I have to imagine he's aware that the stream is happening right now. Did that mean anything for you personally? Like, did he like DM you or something? Like, to
Oh
say-
yes. So he did DM me. The problem that the only reason I decided I would speak up about this was because personally, if you know me, I'm more of a I'll let sleeping dogs in. I kind of like backed away from the modding community there and just kind of was slowly backing away from the like crowd, right? I didn't want to make a big deal out of it.
Fuck
I was
me,
trying
bro.
to be very cordial about things. I even showed up at VK last week. Was trying to keep a professional relationship still going.
Okay.
But
How did that go?
when again, it's when he roped me into the things that other people are saying. That's what pissed me off. And then when he starts spreading my name out there, like I'm I'm doing these things, then I'm just like, okay, I'll come out and fucking say what I need to say. Then if you really want me to come out that badly against you, then I will do it. I was more than happy to let sleeping dogs lie. But it's trying to essentially manipulate me in a way of saying like, because he sent me a message today where it's more of all he really cares about is his income. Like, that's it. Like, he doesn't really care about his subscribers. The subscribers can tell me that he sends you a message. Again, you're a dollar sign to him. He sent me a message saying like, I'm messing with his income, so it's gonna mess with his real life. How could I do this? And honestly, it just kind of fell on the wayside at this point because, again, if you go after me, I pretty much lose all respect that could have ever been there. Like, if he would have reached out and had a one-on-one conversation with me, I think he could have just, like, again, figured out that I have personal gripes with him, and I would have just more than willingly just left a professional,
Fucking
like,
little
relationship
bitch.
there, but not a personal one anymore.
Step right up.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's definitely a lot to consider. It doesn't seem like you were really knives out at any particular point.
Dude, me and Avoided Hornet are basically the same guy.
0 to 2. Switching.
Manipulated, discarded.
Or that you necessarily are now. Would you say that there's like anything that, like, okay, outside of like insecure behavior and like manipulation, do you feel like there's been anything else like that has happened in this community that you've had, like, you've taken big issue with? Like, was there a pivotal moment where you were like, yikes, like I don't want to be involved with this guy anymore?
Funnily enough, the only time I've ever gotten threatened was when I was on a speakeasy stream. And the guy says, like, put me in a room alone with Detox and we'll see who walks out. I'm like, first of all, dude,
Remember,
you're like
if you want me to
5'6".
heal you, stand
Number
very
one.
still. But
Number two,
also,
you smoke
avoid the
meth.
bullets.
So yeah, you probably would win. Number three, this is called verbal combat, bro. We're not trying to set up a boxing match here. You're only saying that because I'm blowing you out of the water with my words.
There are several. For me particularly, there was a huge blow up that would happen with like let's say the person that went on Easy Stream was Smokey. There was a huge blow up in like the VC with him that I did not like how that went down. So the thing is, whenever someone would blow up at Easy, he would essentially does what a 3-year-old does, where he throws a tantrum and says, "I'm gonna do the thing that you tell me not to do," right? Like, so I think that was in regards to actually you, Neve, where Smokey and me were trying to talk him down from essentially burning the bridge over here, because
Oh, with
we
me?
didn't think it. Yeah.
Okay, so sorry, that's interesting. I'm sure this stream burned it anyways, but what basis would he have had for burning a bridge with me?
At the time, you were pretty indifferent about like him and Jumbie being in chat and going at each other, and he perceived that as a slight on him. Even though, again, I was just like, that's just kind of how Neve is. She's not going to take a side if you guys are just going at each other in chat.
No,
It's just kind of how it's going to go. So it was just us trying to stop him from essentially, because like he doesn't understand that things can be perceived in a certain way where it's just when he's angry he just goes off the rails and it's very hard to control. It's like trying to grab the wheel off of like a drunk fucking 5-year-old who's driving. Right? Like it's nearly impossible. but we managed to fucking pull it together and fucking
Baptiste,
get
heal
that
me!
together because again the bridge has been sustained, maybe not now, but at the time I did my job, but Smokey was burned through that. There are several other people that have been burned by him in weird ways, like again the Resto thing. Resto's burn was unique to me because there was a moment there where he was showing us what he perceived as a slight on him, and I'm a person that if there's a lot of
Jesus.
tension in a room and I don't believe the tension should
Neither
be
am
there,
I.
I crack a joke, right, to try to lighten the mood
I don't
a
watch
bit.
Tom anymore.
And he clapped back at me and said, "I will demod everybody if you don't shut the fuck up and stop making jokes, Hornet." And it kind of got to the point where I was just like, this is like overbearing, right?
When you're walking on eggshells in some place that you're supposed to, like when you said you're volunteering time music.
Yeah. I will be fair. He did offer to pay me at the beginning. This is when he had, I think this is like when we first monetized, and I was doing a lot of the work in the background still. But he did offer to pay me, but I told him again, because again, he was kind of a friend, and at that point we had talked a lot, so I was just like, let's get you set up and then we'll worry about me. And then that's kind of how I ended up not getting paid through any of this. Obviously, yes, the channel grew to a pretty good extent. I knew how many members there was in the background, so I knew what kind of money was flowing in. I don't really want to give that
Fucking
I
bitch.
would never
information
ask that
away,
of you,
but
personally.
yeah.
Okay, so if we could go
Yeah,
back, if we
mod
could
ain't
just
worth
take a step
shit,
back
dude,
quickly.
at
So
the end of
if
the
we
day.
go back to like the jump.
It's not worth it, bro. Fucking
if
pay me.
anyone's not sure, like what was being referenced here is so basically Easy had a beef with a person called Brother Jumby, and Brother Jumby and Easy, like I don't know if there was like basically I think they said they were gonna fight each other, and then they went back and forth. And at the time, I knew like I was a neutral party with everyone involved, so it was like Easy, Aaron M Sound, and Jumby, and so basically I got involved because I was watching the coverage from like I don't know, from the safety of my